It's not going to be going any other way. Mainly just because, obviously, all three of these maps have been pretty sort of... both teams have been all right at them in a lot of sense. Obviously, you have Gambit are slightly better at Overpass, forZe are slightly better at Mirage. And now, again, a pretty even map. But we'll see who's going to be able to take things here as forZe do start out on the CT side. They won that 9th round, they get the pick, and they choose CT. And as it goes 1-for-1 towards the Pop Dog early on. It's Gambit. They're going to try wrapping in towards his A-side players, pushing through Ivy. Z-Power gets dinked down. Just 3 points of health for him. Needs his teammates to try and provide some assistance, but they can't. And he will be dealt with in swift course by the Gambit side. 3 players alive for forZe. Jerry, he has himself a HE. There's no kit on these surviving players right now for forZe. I'm not sure if there's one been dropped. I didn't have time to check. I assume there's not one towards Connector. And I don't think Z-Power had one as Gambit. They're just finding all the kills. Now it's only almazar, and let's see if he can find some huge frag series. He does get the first. CZ75, 12 bullets in a mag for that weapon. Only 24 in total, but he gets the first kill pretty clean. He's actually just going to back away and save the CZ for the next round by the looks of things.
Yeah, makes pretty good sense in this scenario. He does manage to find 1 frag, but for him to find 3 more with a CZ, the pistol with barely any bullets in it, probably never gonna happen in that scenario. Also, he's got Kevlar behind him, so that definitely helps him out make this decision, I suppose. Or helps him make this decision. It's a fairly easy decision when you have a CZ75 and Kevlar behind you, and you're in a 1-on-3 scenario. Gambit picking up the pistol here, and that's exactly what they're looking for on this one. As pointed out, Gambit are slight favorites on this map and in this series overall. Gambit have a 69% win rate here on Train. I know, the memes, I know. forZe got a 56% win rate on this one. So fairly even. Both of them actually doing alright, but Gambit's slight favorite, as pointed out. Nafani, it's a good first frag, but FaceCrack chimes in with a frag of his own.
Swag 7. Thank you, FaceCrack, for giving a bit of sunshine on this gloomy day. Use that weapon as now they're going to try pushing in towards that tight, but flip with 1. FaceCrack can't get the range shots there with the shotgun, and it will be Jerry Allins lonesome. CZ in hand, and 3 players to find, although Exile is pretty low. Might be an easy target for him. Right now, Exile is down the ramp, and his first target will be Shiro, who's wielding the scout, and will probably at least tag down Jerry here and back away. Actually, Jerry looks like he's just going to chill. Maybe try and find an exit frag on one of these players if they do go his way, but they're all going to exit through the back of the... or through the CT side of the B site. And that'll be allowing them to keep all their weapons alive. The 2 AKs, a Galil, and a second round, but a couple found for forZe in that round. Kill, especially with FaceCrack getting one on the shotgun, does give a bit of extra cash to forZe that they might be using just to maybe get a couple upgraded pistols here before the full buy next round.
Ooh, I would actually love for them to not use any money on FaceCrack or Z-Power and potentially get an early double AWP setup here. You mentioned it, I think, at the very start of the show, actually, that Train is AWPer's paradise. We typically see double AWP setups on this map, and from time to another, we will actually see a triple AWP setup on this map. Famously, this is the map back in the olden days, where double AWP and triple AWP setup was invented. Back then, obviously, the trains were a little bit taller, and you could see underneath them. The map was quite a bit different back then. Speaking of the good old 1.5, 1.6 days. Yeah, a bit of a minimalistic buy here for forZe. Should give a real good opportunity for Gambit. Well, Gambit should be able to find the third and fourth tracks.
Yeah, I mean, 1 kill found for almazar, 1 for Jerry as well. There's, I mean, a bit of damage done. Gambit, even if he plays alive for the moment, we'll see if it continues that way, because Nafani's taking quite a bit of damage, but with almazar being dealt with, and There goes Jerry. It is a third on the board, 3 surviving. And I mean, that's probably the minimum you want in rounds like this. Obviously, with the bomb plants going down as well, it's they have plenty of cash to work with, and they have plenty of cash to rebuy into these next rounds. But they'll just want to be making sure that they can try and win these next round out cleanly as well. Obviously, they don't have infinite cash, but they can probably muster up one more buy.
That's a good point, well made. Still a decent amount of cash left over for Gambit, giving them a good opportunity to work on that economy early. Great aggression coming through here from Nefani. Jerry didn't hear him at all. Actually, 2 players dropped in towards that position, and none of them were hurt. Jerry, he gets taken down immediately as Nefani shuts him out. Makes it quite a bit difficult here for forZe. Great start to the game here for Gambit, especially seeing as they're on the T side in Exile. He shuts down 2 in Ivy all on his lonesome. Hobbit finding one as well. What is happening?
Well, that was crazy. Gambit are going to find forZe. Almas is the only one surviving. You're just trying to hold on to this ore because Gambit, huge frags coming through from Exile. They're over towards Ivy. Great work. And also just a quick note as this round winds down, Nemiga have just closed out map 2 against Spirit. So Nemiga actually just 2-0 Team Spirit and have put themselves at the grand final spot against Virtus Pro.
That's insanity as well, man.
Yeah, which also means, I mean, good news for us, I guess. Third decider match we'll be covering tomorrow is going to be Narsus Vincere versus the Team Spirit side, which is probably going to be a really sick matchup, actually.
You want to hear the craziest thing about that? That's the number 1 and the number 2 seed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Navi currently ranked 3rd. Spirit currently ranked 17. So the top contenders for IEM New York for the CIS region are going to be playing for 3rd tomorrow. Quite wild here. Virtus Pro 4th. 4th favorite team in this event. They've already made their way through to that grand final where they'll be meeting Nemiga, who are quite far down the list. Well, they're 5th, so not super far down the list, but
yeah,
not quite how I expected this one to go when we opened up this tournament. We did see VP actually getting through groups with 15 points. Same goes for Spirit over in Group B.
Yeah, and with just the pistols this round for forZe, it should be Gambit on a 5th, but Virtus Pro, yeah, they came out of nowhere this tournament in a lot of respects. Yakinda has been an absolute star for that side, and that's going to be dangerous for Nemiga. I think Virtus Pro probably going to be feeling pretty confident, considering that they no longer are going to be preparing for Team Spirit, they'll be preparing for Nemiga, but we will see Gambit heading in towards a site, trying to find shots. Nice one with the Deagle. At least does a bit of damage towards Gambit. We traded out. Basecrack gets one as well, but again, trades come through. Hobbit's actually going to extend that out as he gets himself a 2nd kill. Z-Power towards Top Dog. Oh, a bit awkward. Maybe had a chance to find the shot there as he tried to dive through the smoke, but Gambit will clean things up for a 5th. And again, 3 players surviving for them against the low play from forZe, but they will get themselves a rebuy here.
And something that we've mentioned time and time again, because we've actually seen Train quite a few times as well over these last couple of weeks for you and I. Yeah, something we've mentioned before is that Train is one of the most CT-sided map in the current map pool. Obviously, Nuke is up there as well, but Train is definitely, it can be incredibly difficult to find success on the T side, but to get them to be off 5-0 is absolutely fantastic. If they can continue this going through, if they can manage to get the lead after this first half, not gonna say it's gonna be impossible for forZe, but it's not looking great already.
Exile getting very lucky there, actually, because that smoke, I'm surprised it didn't actually make contact with him and alert Flit to his presence. I feel like if the smoke actually had connected with the body there of Axile, it would have been Flit in a lot more prepared of a stance to take that frag. Great shot from Nafani as well. Just absolutely nails Almaza and Gambit. They are just raking in the rounds here on this T side. They are looking super strong on what is traditionally a pretty CT-sided map. So forZe have got to be worried here about their prospects for the rest of this half and the rest of this game, in fact, because Gambit, they're just not showing any signs of slowing down. In a 3-on-5 here, forZe can't do anything apart from save. I mean, FaceCrack, he's stuck over towards the spool, and I mean, the rest of his team, they're just making sure they keep their weapons alive. FaceCrack's trying to stay alive as well, maybe take a kill. But it's not going to come his way as Gambit will exit out the back of the site back towards the brown halls. 6 on the board. Nothing found for forZe so far.
Mate, 6-0 is stupid good for Gambit. Stupid good. Winning that round as well, obviously 3 players staying alive here for forZe is exactly what they need to be able to reinvest in this round. But you can see the economy on the right-hand side of your screen. We got 10.5 on Exile, 12.5 on Shiro, 9.5 on Hobbit, 8.5 on Afani, 7 on Intas. So much money. Gambit are swimming in dough currently. And they're fine with that. They kind of love the green. Yeah. Not speaking about the sticky icky. Speaking about the Benjamins. not any of that devil's lettuce.
I will not comment on that subject, as
that's probably
Gambit. They are going to be, the Gambit are going to be in a. They've poured themselves a bathtub of singles, which I mean, I'd love to be able to do myself, but living in the UK, I mean, that just means a lot of £1 coins, which are not as fun to have a bath in or swim in. They're actually quite difficult. Not that I've tried, but I just feel like the weight and it would make things difficult compared to a floaty sheet of paper. But it doesn't matter. Gambit are going to try pushing in towards the A site, and I say trying. They will just do. However, FaceCrack has been able to secure himself a couple, and at least it's a 3-on-3 for the forZe side. This is one of the best chances I've had for a while now to try and secure around. Jerry with the perfectly timed peek there from the pop dog, of forZe might just put themselves on the board. However, Shiro has other ideas as Z-Power gets caught trying to have a little bit of a peek in from the Ivy position. Didn't need to, considering the situation was a 3-on-2 with Axile just on 2 points of health. Oh, this is an awkward fight. Axile just needs to try and skate away with that bomb. There's 10 seconds on the clock. Jerry, if he'd been able to find that kill, he would have won the round for his side. And oh, if he could... noises! Commentary!
I was right there with you, mate. I was right there with you. I was like, what is happening, man? What is going on? Yeah. Look at the odds favoring Gambit so heavily at this point. I pointed out going into this one that GGBet, our bookie for this event, decided to go with Gambit for this one, and I sided with them. Felt like that some of the experience that we see on this Gambit side, obviously formerly known as Gambit youngsters, and they do have young players on this lineup. I mentioned earlier Shiro, he's only 19 and he's doing fantastic. But they also have Hobbit, and I said going into this one, I think he will be like the key player out of the server, like to be able to keep focus on these players and bring them, reel them back into the game basically. And I think he's done really well in that regards. Did have a rough one on Mirage, very rough one initially. 13-4 initially in favor of forZe, but Gambit still managed to bring it back and find 12 on the board in that game. And I think that's, again, due to having this experienced player behind them who can just tell them, you know what? This stuff happens, but we can still bring it back. Just keep fighting. They're trucking forward here with 7 on the board, 7-0. Now looking pretty good for forZe in this round, though, and finally they find their first. It is what it's called. Brain DDoS. First on the board here for forZe, though, Dan. Fantastic stuff in that round, but is it maybe a bit too little, a bit too late?
No. forZe, they can definitely still pick things up. We've seen 8-7 halves still able, well, still have the 8 and Jesus, I'll try this again. 8-7 is still a very workable half if forZe can get it there. Into the T half, if they've got stuff working for them, they can definitely make that work and push Gambit to the brink, as Gambit are doing right now, but it does require a huge Herculean effort to get themselves there, as right now in this round, it is an opening kill from Z-Power, who purchased himself up on the Heaven position, but the kills, not all guns and roses. As forZe, they sit a 4-on-3. Ace crack from behind. Will get one, but leaves Hobbit very low on HP, and Elmas is able to swing out for a very quick finisher.
So they do manage to string a couple of rounds together here, and that's exactly what they need to bring this one back. Obviously, still money in the hands of Gambit. Buying up, reinvesting is still not an issue for them. They'll still have a bit of money left over as well, so not necessarily going to be a big issue for them to reinvest even if they lose yet another round here. So it's not looking bleak for Gambit just yet, and it's still going to take quite a bit here for forZe to bring this one back. Gambit going for a tactical timeout here, and again, I think it comes to mind that Hobbit probably just having a bit of a chat with the players, maybe the coach stepping in for that one and trying to calm them down and say, you know what? You just keep control of the pace of the game, and if you manage to do so, if you manage to set up well with those pop flashes, you should be able to shut down the A-bomb site like you've done time and time again. This time around, they do throw a couple of players down towards the Ivy position, and a few players making moves over towards B.
Nice opening from Flit. They try a bit of a run boost there, Gambit. However, Shiro lands almost in Flit's crosshair, which is not the point of a run boost. And with X-Power finding another kill towards main, Flit's just going to nail one through the smoke. forZe have certainly figured out, you know what? I guess it's time for us to find some rounds here. We've given Gambit a 7-0 head start. Now it's time to play catch-up and show them why we are just better. That's what I'm going for here. It's hoping to keep my prediction intact.
Yeah, I think it's more of a hope for your sanity than it is for forZe actually. But I mean, this is it couldn't be a cleaner round here for forZe. Not losing a single player, not taking any damage in that round either. Obviously helped massively here by Flit, who finds the first frag and then catches another one through the smoke as well, which is absolutely ridiculous. C-Power going for a bit of aggression with his AWP as well, so great stuff here from forZe, and as I said, important for them to pick up this round, but there's still money for Gambit. And Gambit's loss bonus has been stacking up in these last 3 rounds as well, so it's still gonna be a still not going to be an easy one here for forZe. Silver lining for forZe, though, is that they did manage to get a clean round in the previous. That gives them a bit of extra cash to work with. So they do have a bit of a buffer now. 7 rounds on the board on the T side is already pretty solid for Gambit. If they can find 1 or 2 more rounds, they'll be more than happy with that.
Three in a row isn't so bad. However, 8 in a row is definitely the target for them. They try and push in towards this forZe position. Ace crack. And in a very difficult situation as his teammate gets plucked away. He's stuck between a bit of a rock and a hard place. D-Power now trying to find shots of his own. It's Split who has to mop up the damage, and he gets 2 huge kills with the AK-47. A brilliant spray transfer, but being caught by Shiro. He will try and escape. Shiro brings it into the 1v1. AK versus Orb. Almaza has that weapon in his hand, and he just pushes through the smoke with the USP. Secures a 4 for forZe. And it is going to beat them just about staying alive and continuing a run on 4.
As you pointed out, Flit keeping the dream alive there, finding their 4th round on the board. I pointed out just last round. Loss bonus has been stacking up here for Gambit, but it doesn't help them to get a full buy in this round. Instead, they are going to be on what I like to call them in-buy. Buying some upgraded pistols to make sure that they keep a good amount of their economy behind them. Oh, that's a good start to the round, though. Jerry and Flit shutting down a couple of players very early on. Flit is still peeking towards that iron position. Gonna be up against 2 here. That's so well positioned here by Flit. He knows that he has to deal with them individually to be able to get success in that round, and that's exactly what he'll do. 2 huge rounds here for Flit. And another one on the board. That's 5 in a row now for forZe. Sure, 7 in a row initially for Gambit. But this is how all maps have gone thus far. We've seen big initial round counts for one team, and then the other team bringing it back, and it's just been great Counter-Strike overall. I think everyone can agree with that, honestly. For this round, though, 2 frags initially going in the favor of forZe here. Make that 3. On 3 individual players as well. It's Almaza, C-Power, and FaceCrack opening it up to this one. It is a buy here for Gambit. Looks like it's going to be yet another round of 4. Yeah, that should cement it. FaceCrack finds yet another. Shiro got stands the back, but he's caught. Pinched from 2 angles. Not a whole lot left for him to do in that scenario. That's going to be the 6th now for forZe. forZe certainly fighting back for this one.
Certainly are. And forZe have finally figured out where their strat book is. They've remembered how to play train. It turns out the strat book was under a cup of coffee.
Oh. Always keep it locked tightly in a cabinet. Make sure you know exactly where it is at all times. forZe, as you pointed out, figured out how to deal with Gambit. But I think it's also like a lot of the success, that we saw from Gambit early on here on Train was them going for very quick aggression. That's a sick dribble coming through from Jerry. Yeah, we saw them go for a lot of early aggression here, Gambit, and they've slowed that momentum down. Like, they're not going for early aggression in these rounds. Instead, they're sort of playing more traditional Counter-Strike, I would say. Well, that being said, it's not necessarily always the best thing to do. In this round, it is going to be another one on the board for forZe. That's 7 in a row for both sides of the aisle. And this is as close as it can get here for the first half.
Well, yeah. I mean, one team's going to be on 8. The other's going to be on 7. That's the way it works. That's the way the cookie crumbles. As it's double orcs once more for the forZe side. And, well, it's been a great comeback for forZe here. It's looking like Gambit we're just going to dominate everything. But if forZe can get this 8th, as we were discussing earlier, there's definitely a chance in the second half for them. It's not all over, despite it being a pretty strong CT map. So Gambit are already going to be pretty confident about their chances for the second half. And they feel like they could have found more here. They'll probably feel like a few rounds slipped away from them, especially a couple of those clutches, especially Shiro against Almaza, as Almaza's going to win this fight out again as against Shiro with the AWP. He does get tagged down in return, but still the advantage now shifted away from Gambit, but only for a moment as trades come back and forth. It's Z-Power who brings it back into an even steal, 3-on-3. But that's only for a moment. It's all up towards Z-Power and Face Crack. Exile does work past the ladder, but will just about miss the timing on these players pushing forward. Exile, he is going to just post up watching that angle, so he knows there's possibility of players being there, but he can't find the shot. Face Crack will land, and it will be Inters and Hobbit to try and maintain this B site, to try and give Gambit the 8. forZe, they really need this 8 themselves. A smoke towards heaven to try and allow them to push forward. Inters, though, he can't find the shots, and now they're able to get in towards the site, and it's a player far back. It's going to be covered from FaZe Crack for just a moment, but I think it's enough to delay the touch. And Z-Power holds the bomb. It will be 8-7 for the forZe side. They just about pull out a lead for halftime, as we will just go to a very short break.
I've been told I'm gonna paint a new reality. It doesn't take a lot to turn a person into gold. Yeah, I've been getting good at alchemy. And you can stay inside in the dark, but without it, you let go. And when you're done with hiding and you wanna have control, you and I can find a perfect fantasy. Stepped out looking like a small fire, half glass that filled with desire. Head down, but no, I can't deny it. Life is fun when you're a liar.
We're living for the moment now, we're one with the world. I can't lose this feeling I get. My heart's in the right place, and so is my soul, yeah. I won't take no excuses for it. Love it, need it, live it. I feel like something's missing when I do not have it. I feel it in my bones, gotta find my space. These emotions on my face, taking a toll, I gotta pay it forward. I'll give it all that I can. No matter what, I won't let up. It's in my soul, it's in my blood, and I won't take no for an answer. If it don't hurt me, it makes me stronger. Yeah. No matter what, I won't let up. It's in my soul, it's in my blood, and I won't take it no more. If I won't, I will be there.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Second half commencing. Gambit now on the CT side, forZe on T side. Oh, the odds are getting closer and closer. Gambit still favorites for this one. Makes sense that they managed to get, well, since they managed to get 7 rounds on their T side, considering that this is still considered a CT-sided map. That's pretty good for Gambits. But forZe 8 rounds in a row on their CT side to bring this one back. Good start to this round as well, Dan.
Yeah, Gambit. Now on the CT side, the more favoured side, so they'll be feeling pretty confident about themselves, especially with just a one-round deficit towards the forZe side. Giro has gone down early, but forZe, they're not out of the woods just yet because there's still a great deal of players to find. Z-Power in towards a Pop Dog with a P250. We'll be able to duel those USPs at pretty decent range, but that is unless he gets taken down. Inters tries to find the shots, but all we'll find is a lot of damage done towards him and flip the Deagle. You don't often see a Deagle on a pistol round. We'll see if it connects anything. Saxal is around the corner in that A main position. But the rest of his majority of the team pushing through. Ivy go 1-for-1. Axal's been able to get down Flit towards the main position as well as it evens up into a 3-on-3. Axal thinks about picking up the Deagle, fires off a shot, we're switching back to USP on when he starts to have a bit of a think about it, but Jerry's going to try and lock down this A site and give them time to get this plant down, but Inter's pushing forward from A2, from Old Bomb, does get the Almaza down, and that leaves a 2-on-2. Jerry and Z-Power need to try and hold this one down as Axal finds one. It's all up towards Jerry. A 1v2. A couple players taken quite a lot of damage already in this server, but it's Axal landing the instant USP headshot, and the defuse will come through. It's a 10-second defuse, but they've got so much time, it doesn't even matter. It's Gambit will find 8. That's the second pistol round this game, or on this map at least. For that, they need to try and answer back now.
Gambit breaking the streak from forZe is absolutely fantastic. Exactly what they need to do. Exile, a key player in that round. 3 frags for it. Inters need to step up massively here for Gambit, though. Exile has been the key player in more or less all of these rounds, actually. He's sitting on 18 kills currently. Highest fragging on the server. Closest to him on his team is 8 kills behind. That's Nafani. Inter's just on 3, though. Gambit picking up the pistol gives them a real good potential of finding success, early on here on their CT side. forZe gonna be trying to fight back with an early force spider.
Yeah, I mean, with that bomb planted, it does give them a bit of extra cash as they get a few Galils, a scout. Now, almost are just on a Deagle, but certainly not as much weaponry as maybe Gambit. But those SMGs for Gambit, if they can farm a bit of cash, that'll certainly help things out. See 2 FAMASs as well. Actually, the buys are actually pretty decent for both teams, or at least comparing them. The only difference really is Almas are on the Deagle rather than an SMG with a rifle. As forZe, they're going to try and create presence towards Ivy. They're trying to push through that location, but right now Gambit, they're just going to fall back. They're going to allow forZe a bit of space as they begin their push forward. Face crack, trying to take the contact. Will fall though. Axal gets himself a nice double with the FAMAS, and that's the Ivy push shut down. 20 seconds on the clock. That's a bomb down as well. Almas has been able to scoot his way towards Old Bomb with the Deagle, but he's missing his shot. Oh no! Flit's been only able to find one. It's all up towards Jerry. 13 seconds on the clock. He pushes forward, secures a kill of his own, but with 3 more players to find the bomb dropped. Inters can close the round down, give Gambit the lead once more. It was a very brief lead for the forZe side.
Inters, I asked for him to step up. He almost doubles his kills in that round. And now he's sitting on 5, but it's still Exile pushing the I guess the limit of what we thought was possible. 21 frags currently. And he's just going to continue that, I feel. Exile has found his form, that's for sure. Train seems to be a fantastic map for him. It's Gambit finding their 9th, and as you pointed out, forZe, they were in the lead, but not for long. Now they are going to be very limited for this round. Just Deagles on 4 of their players. CPower holding on to as much money as possible so you can get that AWP for the next. Ooh. That's a nice ding on Exile, though. That might be exactly what they need, but still, just the Deagle to play with.
I mean, a kill found for the forZe side. It might not last for long as Nafani with the SMG is finding damage, but with only 1 HP, he's still able to find another shot. Almaza will take his head off, a bit overkill with the Deagle, but Jerry is now left in a 1v2 and his damage done. He's able to find one more. Could he get the knight for forZe? Not quite. Hero clutches it out just about for the Gambit side as they find 10, but a very difficult 10th against the Deagles as forZe. They'll be able to rebuy into this next round. XZ-Power already has the AWP into his hands.
10th on the board. As you pointed out, double digits here for Gambit. At the very least, forZe managing to deal some damage in that previous round. And we can see the direct effect of that. If you take a quick look on the left-hand side of your screen, you'll notice that not really any more... I thought that was the hit for a hot moment. Not really a whole lot of money left over here for any of the Gambit players. Shiro is the only one who's got a bit of cash in his pocket. Yeah, a lot of damage dealt towards CPower. Great double nade action in towards the T connector. He's down to just 16 HP.
Obviously, you'd say 16 HP, yeah, but remember as well, with the AWP, never still connect shot. Only need 1 bullet to get let rip to take down a player. As Flit does actually give the advantage towards forZe in terms of the manpower, taking down Exile with the peak from main. However, he's taking a lot of damage in return as well. Down to 20 he goes. Flit's going to find a second as well as they try and recover Gambit. They've only made things worse for themselves. There's a bit of pressure being applied towards the B site. Facecrack looking for an opening. Inters is there, and it's actually rotated Shuro over as well. Here he picks up Hobbit towards the Pop Dog. Inters has dealt with that little bit of a push towards the B site, but now the main hit is coming in towards A. Shiro is the closest player to try and deal with any aggression, but in towards connect with the AWP. It is going to be an easy plant for forZe. That's not going to be denied. I feel like Gambit probably is going to save these 2 weapons. As forZe, they'll find a 9th, despite the damage done towards Z-Power and Flit.
Yeah, point well made. So much damage dealt towards CPower very early on in that round, but he didn't have to do a whole lot for the round, it seems. Because it's Flit who finds the double, Jerry with 1. And then Inters and Shiro realizing, you know what? Our economy is horrible. Let's fall back, hold on to our weapons, and try and make something work in the next round. Try and deal some economic damage in the next round. That's probably all they're going to go for. But, well, they should actually go for a force buy here. Because as you can see, Fani and Hobbit only on 1400. They won't be able to fully invest in the next round, even if they go for an eco in this one, so they should definitely go for the force buy. Shiro had enough money to drop over an M4, and that is going to help them a little bit here. Gambit on 10, but forZe pushing on 9 now, knocking on the door of double digits themselves. They're looking to go for something rather quick down pop, it seems. Maybe I was mistaken. Ooh!
Well, as his name suggests, Facecrack has had his absolutely cracked. Because he's just been absolutely nailed. Like, just nailed. No other word to describe it. Through the floorboards, he gets taken down, and Almaza has been able to trade out, gives Nafani a bit of taste of that medicine, but for the forZe side, we'll definitely want to try and close this one down to tie this game up 10-10. In this 4-on-4, Jerry's going to be working in towards Ivy, has Z-Power with the AWP, trying to give him a bit of cover, at least trade him out, at the very least, as They start pushing around the corner. Is there anybody going to give themselves up towards Jerry here as he starts his approaching towards the site of play, towards Sandwich? That is Axile, who gets one, but actually a second. As Flit tries to take the fight, Jerry hasn't been able to deal with him yet, but Jerry is going to double himself up and bring it into a 2v2. Z-Power with one as well. They're putting these Gambit players down despite the early advantage, but they need to be careful. Inters. Oh, this is huge. Oh, but he spots them going towards the B site and he lets rip a few bullets. Can't find the killer. Now forZe, they know exactly where he is. They're going to be able to lock him out and he's going to try and pick up the AWP. He's just going to go for the save. He knows that with his position found out, he's not got a chance to get back into this round and it's just going to be too difficult. As forZe, they will be able to find a 10th as the bomb will tick its way down.
Yeah, but all things considered, not that bad of a round here for Gambit. It was a force buy. They had to go for the force buy. They really didn't have much of a choice in that regards. They still managed to deal a good amount of damage here. Axile and Nafani opening it up nicely. Nafani in particular with that beautiful shot on face crack in towards Pop Dog. Beautiful stuff here from Gambit. Finding a couple of frags, dealing some economic damage. The economy is already getting quite a bit better here for forZe. Gambit, they're now in a bit of a pickle. This round is going to be the eco for them. Good opportunity here for forZe. Should be able to take the lead at this point after this round. We asked for a close matchup in this game in general. We've had that with both of the teams taking their own map choice. 16-12 on both of those. It was Overpass going in the favor of Gambit and Mirage going in the favor of forZe, and now Train. We asked for a close game on this one as well. We're tied up at 10. Couldn't really be much closer here, Dan. Do you think... Oh, I suspect you're still holding on to your initial prediction here, right?
You say holding on as if it's a bad thing. forZe are the 10-10 right now. But yeah, I mean, I'm still believing in
I didn't mean it like that.
Like, usually holding on is what you say when it's like 1-9.
I realized how that sound.
Yeah. But yeah, I still reckon that they take this game in this final map here.
Obviously, Gambit probably not going to get much luck out of this round. Mostly USPs, so default pistols here on the Gambit side. We do have a P250 for Inters. Does have for kits. Head armor as well. Shiro going for the peak towards upper with that AWP that they held on to from the previous. Yeah, he goes down very early to C-Power.
Yeah, now it's caked in fire as well, and as Jerry pushes towards that angle, that Molotov to the ladder, that's a very nice Molotov. It's crunch! Axile jumps away from the ladder to try and save his skin, but he probably takes more damage jumping off than he would have if he just climbed back down the ladder. And taking a bit of damage from the flames. His face crack is on a flank, however, with players going down, I was about to say he might not have a chance to find frag, but he gets the first, Almazer with the second, and forZe, they'll lose just that one player as they take the lead here. As wasn't able to find anything initially, they'll go for a scout this time for Shiro and some M4s.
11th on the board here for forZe, now taking the lead, and obviously they're going to try and push that to a finish. They're going to try and take the victory in this one. But honestly, I mean, our prediction going into this one suggested that this could go either way. And at this point, the scoreline suggests it could go either way. So I think, in that regards, we're both correct in our assessment of this game. First frag for this round, though. Nafani, he finds the shot onto Flit. Needs to be careful. More players fairly close by here. And he's taking a lot of damage.
At least, well, the damage obviously isn't fun, but he's found the kill and given the Gambit side that opening they needed to try and tie this score back up and get the CT side under a bit of momentum again, because after those first few, it's been forZe who've been able to really put a bit of fight in their legs and in their minds as they are going to push in towards his B side, or at least face crack it. He finds the first onto Nafani. That's a low HP player, but there's still another player nearby, and he's actually pulled a rotation as well from Shira with that scout, and that leaves 2 players only towards the A site. Face crack's looking for more, but Inters, he's there to try and trade out. Jerry's there to try and sell this B site a little bit more, but doesn't want to overcommit, doesn't want to go down. They're already in a man of disadvantage yet again. Jerry drops down in towards Pop Dog. Exile, that's always going to be his kill. forZe have been able to push their way in towards the site. Or at least Almeza has. Exile swings out, takes down a couple more kills, and we'll give Gambit that 11 for forZe. They can't keep hold of their lead for too long.
Yeah, back and forth once again, as we've seen pretty much the entire way through. forZe going for a bit of a tactical timeout here. It makes pretty good sense for them. Obviously, they still got money to reinvest into this round. They should have Flit drop the AWP for C-Power here, and then C-Power can drop 2 rifles. If C-Power goes for the AWP and fully invests behind it, he'll not be able to... or they won't be able to have a full investment on all players. And they go exactly for what I mentioned here. Flit dropping that AWP over and C-Power dropping 2 rifles the opposite direction. That means that forZe will have a full buy once again. This is such a big swing round, though, especially this late into the game. Whoever wins this one has a real good opportunity to run away with a victory here. It's not quite, you know, a clean-cut case that whoever wins this round will take the victory, but it certainly helps.
Yeah, especially with the opening kill for Exile going through. Kill towards A main as he tried to make an aggressive push out from the forZe side. However, it's been met with stiff resistance, and Gambit have themselves the advantage, and Z-Pal's taken a lot of damage as well on that AWP. So forZe needs to make sure that they aren't going to allow Gambit to build up a lot of cash here if they do play him around, because obviously that's going to hurt them quite a bit. It looks like they'll go for a run boost here. That is absolutely perfect. I'm not sure if the run boost helped out that much, but did he got the timing onto Hobbit, at least. And that's the even and kill as well. And it goes into a 4-on-4. Shiro still has the AWP for the CT side as well. So, Gambit, they still have plenty of opportunities. So, the forZe are 40 seconds on the clock. Hopefully we won't see a round like we've seen a couple times already with the clock running too far down. There's a bit of a peek in towards long from Nafani. Allows the players towards the A site to focus on the A site. As they figure out that they've left along the left dive, it's all the hill to Gambit. So Jerry does find himself 1, getting tagged down quite a bit. We finished off with the USP of Shiro. Gambit will find 12 and take the lead, and forZe, they're just going to have to take an eco here.
Run boost, we see this time and time again. Such a quick shot from C-Power as well. Even in slow motion, that looked quick. Gambit picking up the round, though, and as you pointed out, forZe, well, they're forced on an eco, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Don't really have a whole lot to work with in this round. Real good opportunity here for Gambit.
No.
But Almeza, he was massive on that second map, and this is a massive kill for him as well.
Yeah. Huge frag, able to recover the M4 as well, and he has armor to go along with it. Drops over the Tech 9 to one of his teammates, had his face crack to wield it. Obviously, upgrading his pistol, it makes sense, considering Almeza has the rifle in his hands now, doesn't need the Tech 9. Can forZe find something with this one to try and tie the game up yet again and keep sort of back and forth momentum that we've seen so far, because, or at least in the second half, because obviously it's still a tough ask. Only one player with the arm, and that's Almeza, who has the M4 now. The rest of teammates just with pistols, no armor. So these rifles from Gambit can definitely cut down players pretty quickly, especially with Hero on the AWP as well. Does deal a kill onto FaceCrack and Inters with 2 of his own. They're going to go for the bomb plant forZe, and that's a pretty good deal out of that. 2 versus 4. They might be able to find more kills still. Z-Power won't, as Inters pushes forward, gets a 3rd kill of the round for himself, and now it's all up towards Flick to try and deny the defuse. He might have had a chance there to get a kill, but now with Shiro posted up watching from Connect with the AWP, if he even takes the peek, he's just dead. And I'm surprised he doesn't try at all to go for that one.
Yeah, I think what happened there is I don't think he was counting on them sticking the defuse in that scenario. It's a tough situation, because if you go for the peak and they're not sticking the defuse, then you're staring down 4 barrels, which is never fun. If you go for the peak and they are sticking the defuse, you're still going to have players watching your angle. But obviously, he should have gone for something in that scenario, because they were always going to be buying up for this round, but wasn't probably going to get a whole lot out of it regardless. 13-11 though, Gambit. 3 rounds away from shutting this one down and taking that 5th place for IEM New York 2020 CIS region, with Exile getting the opening frag. It's looking fantastic for Gambit at this point.
Yeah, and just a reminder as well, the winner of this will get themselves some extra RMR points, and if my math calculations are correct, whoever actually wins this matchup will have enough RMR points to take 5th place in the standings, and that will obviously be the final place for the CIS region for major positions. And that'll dislodge a Spada out of that current 5th position. So, for Gambit, obviously, a couple rounds in the lead. A couple AWP shots from Shiro, not going to connect initially, as they're going to try pushing in towards his B site. But Exile yet again found an opening kill for Gambit over towards that A site. Again, it was a push out of main, and now as they push forward, Almazer's going to get caught by Shiro. The players hop onto the site. FaceCrack gets one, just about elude Shiro's gaze for the time being, as they're answering back. They're getting themselves into a 3-on-3. Jerry just about missing the timing, but FaceCrack's going to continue to fight back. And Jerry pushing forwards. Exile, it's all up towards Nafani, who lets the position be known, gets a bit of damage towards Z-Pow, but it wasn't worth it as FaceCrack turns, finds a 3rd kill in the round, and forZe somehow come back from a 3v5.
Yeah, this is what we've seen time and time again, though, from both sides of the aisle, honestly. Even when they're in very unfavorable situations, they somehow still manage to pull it back and make it work. Yeah, but just going for a tactical timeout here, and it kind of makes sense, because they know that, again, a kind of a swing round here, because if they lose this round, Gambit, there's going to be 13 on the board for forZe, and then Gambit are going to be on an eco, so real good potential here for forZe to at least push it to 14. Oh, this is a close one, Dan. It's going to come right down to the last round of regulation, I suspect. Or at least very good potential of that. If Gambit picks up the victory in this round, though, they'll have a real good possibility of just running away with the victory, shutting down forZe, and taking that 5th place. forZe, obviously, they got other ideas. Want to make sure that they push as much as they can to try and bring this one back in their favor. I expected this one to be a close matchup, but this is something else.
Yeah, these back and forth rounds really not giving either team a huge advantage. Obviously, Gambit have been able to, as you say, get a decent buy up into this round, but with Jerry just running in towards the B site, taking down Inters, giving the forZe side so much space to work with. Exile, again, is the one finding frags for Gambit. He's on 130. As it looks like Gambit may just go for the save here towards T-Spawn. In a 4-on-4. forZe have a lot of control towards that B site, and as bomb tick it down, it is just. I'm a little surprised they don't go for it, but I also understand because they keep 4 weapons alive. They'll give themselves another chance in the next round. Obviously, with these weapons up, to try and find as much as they can and try and find 14. Because If they go for this one and it doesn't work out, they're on an eco next round. And forZe, you say, probably find 14. Whereas this time they have a chance to find 14 first. So I respect it.
I have to agree with you. Holding on to these weapons here for Gambit is great. That's exactly what they need. Because they know that they were going to be on a bit of an eco for this round. I would love to see for Intus not reinvesting in this round. Exile could drop him a P250. Oh, Exile actually drops him the Galil, and he goes for that reinvestment. It's not necessarily the worst idea here for Gambit, but it also means that, again, we have another one of those swing round situations. For Gambit, they pretty much have to go for an eco if they get caught with their pants down.
Oh no. FaZe gets an opening, but as I say again and again, Exile's the one to respond. Nafani does find another as forZe. They went aggressive towards this A-site. Almas are pushing forward, can find one, but that's the bomb dropped, and it's just Z-Power. All is lonesome, and he can't find it. Gambit, they steal away around with the saved weapons. It's 14 on the board, and forZe, they have cash to rebuy. That's not the end of the world. They can get a decent amount through. Flip is going to be the unknown, though. Actually get a very strong buy through. 4 AKs the AWP.
14th on the board for Gambit, though. So they did go for a bit of a gamble in that round, heavily investing on all of their players, but it worked out perfectly. As you pointed out, FaZe, he gets the opening frag, and that's a very big kill for him. But quickly, Gambit answers back with an array of frags going in their favor. forZe still with enough money to reinvest into this round. We still have that AWP on C-Power. I said there was real good potential for this one going the distance, like all rounds of regulation being played here. And they're both fighting to make that happen. Obviously, both fighting to take the victory in this one. At this point, like, I still don't know who will run away with the victory. It's still up for grabs for both of these teams. And they've both put a fantastic showing for us in this matchup.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling overtime here.
There's always potential for that.
Shiro might just be able to put Gambit on 15, though, as he gets the opening kill. This time it's not Exile, who again is playing aggressive towards main. He's been doing it time and time again, and has been catching these forZe players off time and time again. So forZe this time, they once again are gonna try and avoid that position. It's a strong push towards Ivy instead. A lot of utility use both ways, though. As Hobbit's just jump peeking towards the brown holes. Obviously, FaZe has already died in that location, and Hobbit's just going to try and jump spot to make sure that the forZe side aren't going to try and regain control. Snade could do quite a lot, and it certainly does. Almas are almost on half of his HP. There's utility going to come through from forZe to try and allow them to push forward. Z-Power pulls himself up with the AWP to try and watch the angle, but I was going to say, look where Jerry's gotten to. Shiro certainly is. He pins him away from the site. The kill goes through, and Gambit might just find 15 here. 30 seconds on the clock. It's a 3-on-5. 2-on-5 as Nafani secures himself a couple more kills. It's only Z-Power, and Inters will get the final shot. It is Gambit. 15 on the board, and forZe, they have nothing to work with. Forget overtime. This is 16-13 for Gambit.
It certainly feels like it at this point. It seems close to impossible here for forZe. We've seen crazy comebacks in rounds like these, where they're incredibly limited in their weaponry and utility and all that good stuff. But yeah, I don't see much of a chance here for forZe. This is probably gonna be Gambit running away with this one. forZe, it looks like they want to go for something incredibly quick towards the A-bomb side, but Jerry, so much damage dealt to him already.
They went for something incredibly quick. They gained a lot of space. They did have to slow down as they waited for the teammates to push forward. And it goes 1-for-1 initially, but the Tech-9s are starting to fight back, and we may still see OT, the bomb just about planted before the smoke phase, and Axile and Inters, they at least bring things into a 2-on-2 before Axile falls. The huge player for Gambit is on 34 kills, but now he's dead. No further part to play in this round, and it's still just pistols for forZe. A Deagle and a Tech-9 to try and lock down 14 and give them a chance to force OT into this final map of it, though, as the smoke clears, takes down Jerry, and that leaves a lot up towards Almazer. This could be the end. The bomb is not planted in a great position. He can't quite see it. It's just going to be the defuse being stuck, and Almazer, he can't do it. It's Gambit